All right, hi again, Scratch. So, I just wanted to show you kind of a couple different ways we could go about the music that we were talking about. So, in Wise, you can set up a couple of different states, and so I've kind of set up three main types of states. So, actions, like if you're carrying or pushing something, a health state, whether you're kind of at that full health bonus that you were talking about, and then an orientation, just if you're rolling or walking. And so I've set it up one way where you can switch in between the different music samples depending on what you're doing, but you can only really have one at a time. So here's an example of that. So we get this kind of like tomb ambience in the background here, just as the bass level. And then if we start walking, we switch out for that bass sound, and then if we were to start rolling, the bass goes away, and one of those three variations of the rebab comes in. And if we go back, then it's just that again. But what this doesn't do is layer the sounds on top of each other, so that like if you're at full health, and then you started rolling, because full health happens before orientation, it's just going to stick there until you go to none. But if you're carrying something or pushing something, so that's kind of the way that your music system works currently, if I understand correctly. Everything sort of going in the background and fading in and out between those different elements. Another thing that Wise actually does really well is doing those additive sorts of layers. So if we take a look at this kind of orientation, and so right now we have none of the states, so we're again going to get this tomb ambience. But if, say, we start walking, all right, and get that bass sound. And that bass sound is two different types of variations. And basically what it looks for is, if we're walking, in the walking state, increase the volume of the bass so that you hear it, and decrease the volume of the rolling. If we're in the rolling state, don't play the bass. So and if we change states, we're going to play the surf because it is set to play during rolling and not during walking. But say we're rolling and we also have full health. What's nice about this is that they can combine. So it just changes the value of this volume. So if that goes away but we're still rolling, or if we're walking and we have full health, or if we're walking and carrying something, or walking and pushing something, or rolling and pushing something. I'm not sure if that is possible. And also have full health. And another cool thing that Wise can do is also follow the sound quality based on things called real-time parameter controls. So I have like a parameter here for player health, and I've set it up so that it has a link to a low-pass filter. So all of a sudden the player health is going down and they haven't noticed, so let's make an audio cue. Uh-oh, something must be happening. Oh, my health is low, right? And then maybe we also want to link the volume of the music in general to how fast the player is going, right? So if the player is moving very slowly, we could have the volume be very low. And if they start going really fast, then maybe it can punch in and kick in. So a lot of different possibilities with that sort of stuff. And I think that is kind of where I have now. Wise can also do like triggered effects. So any of the Elvis stuff that we were talking about before, it can trigger it in time, so it happens in sync with the music. So it sounds more like a musical cue rather than just like a sound effect hit. So that may be something that we want to experiment with as well. So if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know, and I'm excited to keep working on this with you. All right. Have a good night.